Hello guys, yes, this is another video in the same week, so I don't know what's going on. But obviously I'm off work this week and my weekly pulls have just arrived, so I'm going through reading them. So I'm going to do a couple of issues in this one, and then obviously there'll be another video after this one, just merged together. It's just because I would like to try and talk about these while they're fresh rather than reading like 8 or 9 comics. So the first one I read was Spider-Gwen. I also got the Scotty Young cover. I've seen a lot of people that this is the only comic that I've seen that the standalone cover is probably the worst one, and every other variant cover is kick-ass. You know, I just love this one. It's just simplistic, it's just cool looking, and I just really enjoyed it. Yeah, so obviously I've read Spider-Gwen after much hype. To me, if you play video games, this is the destiny of video games. You know, we had the Edge of Spider-Verse 2, which was really, really good. Like the Destiny beta, which was really good. And then this came out, and I think it's not lived up to the hype very much like Destiny did. It's good, don't get me wrong. I love some of the quips in it, like whenever Gwen Stacy finds a cash register, you know, like she's fought someone and she brings the cash register back to the guy, and she says, look, I'm hungry, can I have, you know, like a hot dog for a reward? And he says, you met Spider-Woman, action is your reward, which is obviously in the Spider-Man, you know, theme song. And then there's one to do with her being part of a band called the Mary Janes, which is obviously fronted by Mary Jane. And one of their songs is Face a Tiger, which is obviously the first time you see Mary Jane in the comics. Was like, Face a Tiger, you've hit the jackpot. And their band director or something, manager, says that, you know, Face a Tiger, you've hit the jackpot. And even Mary Jane says, what does that even mean? And there's quotes to do with Breaking Bad and things like that. It's a good issue, don't get me wrong, but I preferred Silk #1 over Spider-Gwen #1. It's good, but there's just something about it. Hopefully, you know, like, obviously it's just an issue 1, but as I say, I just preferred Silk over Spider-Gwen, which pains me to say it, but, you know, like, if you're fan #1s, pick it up, give it a go, and see what you think. Next one I read was Amazing X-Men #17. This is obviously part 3 of 4 of a story to do with Colossus has a dream to do with a gem, and whoever gets the gem will unleash the power of Juggernaut. Now Colossus and I can't remember the other character have been told to stay at the mansion, and he's teleported there with his character, and there's like a big fight going on. Rockslide is fighting this big demon, and then there's a scene where he says, you know, like, I've beat this demon as Storm says I would, and, you know, now I'm going to get the gem and become Juggernaut. And goes like, what's the matter? And, you know, because he's only joking around. Rockslide seems to be one of my favourite characters. He's just so kooky and funny. But yeah, there's just a big fight that ensues, and there's Carlo something or other is fighting Firestar, and he says, like, #1 you can die, or #2, and she says, like, no, you don't count to #2, and then she, like, zaps him with her fire, and there's just like a big explosion. But yeah, at the end of it, we see somebody pick up the gem and unleash Juggernaut's power, and Juggernaut is huge because you kind of see the trees here, and Juggernaut is like up here somewhere. So it's just one of these stories that, you know, obviously the next one is part 4 of 4, but I've just caught up on my Amazing X-Men, so really enjoyed it. The next one is Deathstroke #5, which you can also see Deathstroke, Batman, and Harley Quinn. And the last panel of Deathstroke #4, obviously he's been going around with Harley Quinn because he's trying to find his son, and obviously Harley Quinn and him were in the Suicide Squad, but he betrayed the Suicide Squad, and the last panel is him and Batman, and Harley Quinn going like, oh my, you know, I guess I'm totally fangirling out over this. So basically Batman and Deathstroke are having a fight, and Harley Quinn is kind of directing the fight in the background. You know, Deathstroke, obviously he's found something, and he's got his vision back, and he's got like two eyes now, but whenever he's wearing the mask, obviously one side's blurred out, so he's only seeing through one eye, so he's getting adjusted to that and what have you. And yeah, so just a fight between him and Batman, superb. And Harley leaves a couple of presents and says like, well, you know, I'll see you later, and jumps out a window and says, ain't I a stinker? So she's singing to Deathstroke and saying, come out wherever you are, and Deathstroke's, you just see the hand, and he grabs Harley Quinn by the throat and says like, I want to find my son. Says like, okay, I believe you. Hop on the bike, and he says, yeah, I don't want you behind me, you'll probably stick a knife in my back or something along those lines. And went, right, okay, well, hang on tight and watch my boobs, which made me laugh. And then we see his son and his daughter together. But yeah, just like I would say that it's worth it just for the Batman and Deathstroke fight scene alone. So I'm going to read the other comics now, and you'll see me in a minute. Hey guys, I'm back. It's only been a couple of minutes, even though it looks darker, because it's actually hailstones outside, which is lovely. Right, so the next comic I read was Superior Iron Man number 5, which basically tells the story of how Teen Abomination came about, and kind of see a softer side of Tony Stark in this one. Obviously he's been a bit of an ass in the first couple of issues, and this one here he kind of basically found out about how Teen Abomination came about, what happened to his mother, who his father is, and why Tony Stark is helping him. And that's all I'll say. If you haven't read it, I kind of don't want to spoil it for you, because it's kind of, oh right, okay. FYI, it's not Tony Stark, because that's what I was thinking, but it's not him. But yeah, just another good issue on a really good series. Speaking of really good series and really good issue, Spider-Man and the X-Men number 3. This was not. I honestly couldn't finish this. Basically, Spider-Man and the X-Men are, I think in issue 2 they were kidnapped and they're brainwashed, and they think they're in a TV show. I got about 5 pages into it and I just had to stop reading it. I was meant to stop in issue 2, and because I did my pulls last month, issue 3 was still on up, so this will be the last of. But this was terrible. I just did not like this at all, and that's the last I'll be reading of it. However, Spider-Man makes an appearance in S.H.I.E.L.D. issue 3, which I thoroughly enjoyed. The banter between Coulson and him is brilliant. Spider-Man's on Coulson's car, Lola, and says, you know, like, this is a really cool car, and goes like, if you scratch it, you'll not be the first bug that this windscreen will have wiped off. And then towards the end he says, can I come back with you in your flying car? There's a part where Spider-Man's going into a room that has like a big glowing book. Basically this is making everything go all haywire, and he says, Avengers Assemble, and the guy looks at him and says, well, what, it's better than Geronimo, which obviously somebody may be a Doctor Who fan, I'm not sure. But yeah, I just enjoyed this issue. Enjoyed the last one with Miss Marvel, and this one here with Spider-Man is very good, so really enjoyed that. Darth Vader issue 2, which was very good. Basically because of Vader's been at fault for the Death Star blowing up, so the Emperor has put General Tag in charge of kind of monitoring him, and then there's somebody, Unai, who then is, General Tag has put Unai in charge of watching Darth Vader, so they kind of go on a mission together, and basically Darth Vader says the only person he could trust is droids. But yeah, just another solid issue. The art in this is superb, and you really get the feel that it's, you know, like Vader is a badass, and he's just going to turn on General Tag, or Trag, or however it's said, in the upcoming issues. And obviously in issue 1 you see him dealing with Boba Fett, which kind of ties in here. But yeah, just a really solid issue. And lastly, one that I was really looking forward to and really enjoyed was He-Man the Eternity War issue 3. You have She-Ra and Swiftwind, and then you've got Catra and Scorpia there. Basically this is to do with the Castle Grayskull eyes have gems in them, and the gems have been taken, and they have to find them. She-Ra's Sword of Protection basically links up with them, so it kind of will glow whenever she's near them. basically we see a conversation with She-Ra and the sorceress Tila. And Tila's only learning her craft because she died before, so basically she may have just been brought back to life to serve as, you know, Castle Grayskull's sorceress and Eternia's sorceress as well. So yeah, we see, oh, that fucking car, every video a car alarm goes off, and it's just your man getting into it. But yeah, we see her and Stratos. There's a character who I thought was Batros. If anyone watches the original He-Man cartoon, you know what I'm talking about. But it's some other character, just looks very similar. And basically there's a good action scene, and there's a great line in it to do with Catra and Scorpia are in like a ship, and they say like, oh, that's He-Man's girlfriend. And we're like, no, our sources say it's his sister. And that's obviously a good nod, because a lot of people, when we say He-Man and She-Ra, going like, oh, did they ever get together? It's like, well, it was his sister, so that'd be a bit gross. And there's a great scene with She-Ra and Scorpia and Catra fighting, and Scorpia's tail gets cut in half, and you just see blood everywhere, which obviously you wouldn't see in the cartoons. But yeah, it's just like, I don't see a lot of people picking this up, but it's only on issue 3, and if you're a fan of the He-Man series, I would say to give it a try. Obviously issue 1 and 2, easy enough to pick up. I think this is about $2.99 US, so, you know, give it a whirl, see what you think. And I just thought I'd come on and do my reviews on the comics I picked up this week. Obviously I got the previews magazine to go through as well, so I'm looking forward to going through that. But thank you for watching, and until the next video, keep on being awesome to each other, and stop all this rubbish of, you know, leaving stupid comments and things like that. That's all I'm going to say. Men can cook in the kitchen as well as women, you know, so why, I don't know. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Be awesome to each other, and leave comments on one another's channels, because that's how we find out about each other, and that's how I've subscribed to so many new people lately. And thanks for watching, and until the next time.